Good afternoon, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another episode of AI Native Context here with Casey Hawkins. While we wish Klemen a great vacation for a couple weeks. How you doing, Casey?
I'm doing well. I'm forever wishing that I was born in Europe where
It's okay to take vacation and mandated, kind of.
Well, Chris, I don't know if you've seen my email signature. I've got some dates coming up.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. So why do you need to live in Europe? All right. Thought we'd bring it to basics today. Um, uh, gonna go through the Claude MD file from our main brain repo
Mhm.
that supports many folks in the on the very first team in the collective. Um, but just curious, when did you first hear the words markdown file?
Um, it was probably either you or Ryan when actually I kind of do know. I think I was on a call with you and Ryan Ginsberg, and you were showing me how to do something in the Claude terminal, and I had downloaded whatever, maybe probably a call transcript or something as a PDF, and you both said, "Casey, stop!" like I had, like I'd broken something.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
I'm sure it was way less dramatic than that, but I remember being like, "What? Just, just doing
yeah.
my thing," and
No,
you
they
said,
were probably
"No."
like, "What's even happening right now?" PDF.
You you had me download a markdown file instead, which I didn't know. Like, you go to download something and there's all these other words, but you do the PDF, you do the doc, whatever. Had never noticed the
Wow. So I didn't
yeah.
even know it was that late. So the
Mhm.
whole time you had been using Claude Desktop or Claude Chat, y- Markdown, like .md, never.
PDFing it up.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not that I knew for much longer. I think it was definitely once I was introduced to Claude Chat on desktop was my first time
I had
ever
probably
caring.
seen Claude produce markdown files, and I probably had just thought, "This is so annoying." One of the one of the like the M dash.
Oh man, M dash territory. Yeah, so that speaks to like the challenge that we're trying to help with when it comes to like all of a sudden this new file type
Mhm,
like shows up in our lives and it's has quite a bit of importance when you are building out, an AI native architecture.
mhm.
And I thought we could just go through our Claude.md file today to kind of just make it easy to talk through what they are and why they're important. I am no expert on the technical nature of how LLMs or agents like read these things.
Mhm.
So I just know that I got much better at producing them um, as as I started working with Cloud Chat and making more projects. It's basically custom instructions,
Mhm.
uh, like the Markdown format. Um, and uh, so this one specifically, the Claude.md file can be found like in any folder set, but like for us, like the main brain is our repo with all the knowledge in it, all the agents in it, all the
Mhm.
like intelligence and all the context. So this is like an SOP that gets loaded every time we start up a new session, right? If you're familiar with Claude projects or GPT projects, very similar to custom instructions.
Mhm.
Um, uh, so, but basically, like, here's what we expect, operationally from the session, like
Mhm.
when we start it. So um, starts with kind of the goal in terms of you're working with a member of the Value First team. Uh, Assume the agent identity the request calls for, looking at this roster. So all of the agents have profiles in this place in the repo
Mhm.
and work as that seat. When no seat fits, you are the COO. So um, I plan to learn as we go through this today, just to talk it through with you. But like the first thing that jumps out at me and how this is different from like a cloud project is in the early days, and even now, if you ask AI to make project instructions for you,
Mhm.
it'll say something like, "You are this, and we are
Mhm.
trying to accomplish this thing or this type of project, or we're trying to work with this client." And
Mhm.
this uh, immediately shifts. And like, so how would you read this as kind of like a goal, just so I don't kind of bias here, making sure it's like at least one other human understands what's happening here.
How would I What do you mean by goal? I would
Like, is this a does this make sense as a goal for
Okay.
that you would want, since this is your first time seeing this, every
Mhm.
time you open a session in the main brain,
Mhm.
your session is getting these instructions.
Instructions. Interesting. So, when no seat fits, your V leadership, the COO. So this is funny to me because, you, Chris, have named all of the agents, or they name themselves, but, at your hands or something. I don't know.
Collaboration.
uh, and when I'm working in the main brain, which is the, shared Claude project, you commonly will ask me to ask which agents are being used. So and every time you say that, I get, like, self-conscious. I'm like, "Oh gosh, I'm using the wrong agent for sure." The fact that Chris is asking me this means the wrong one. Um, so I'm feeling a lot of immediate relief that anytime you ask that, it's not my fault. Um, but I what is different about this than any time I've written instructions, and I know this is intentional, um, is it is more dynamic immediately, which you've built in, rather than giving a single instruction here, you're saying, "Go find the best, like, hat to put on based on the question that's being asked."
Yep. And like a huge challenge when I'm talking to anybody about how to do instructions or how to build architecture is like the difference between using Claude Code in this case to just get work done like throughout the day.
Mhm,
When we're in Claude Chat, and I have bunches of projects like in Claude Chat, and each one of them had a separate instruction, and I knew which one to go to. So I was deciding like which hat,
mhm,
or because there was like a predefined space. It would be like if you're the owner of a company and you're like, I want to do marketing right now. That means I need to go to the marketing department
mhm,
and and then talk about it there, because that's where all the people who know about marketing like exist, and then we'll get the thing done in there. Um, but then when you're one person, you're like, I want to do some sales right now. That means I
Mhm.
need to walk over to like the sales department and, you know, leadership teams generally, like
Mhm.
that's not how it works. But you still need expertise to get the thing done. You can't just be like, all right, all hands, we need to do some marketing. Who's like who's in? Who wants to do that? Um, which is what you're doing kind of if you don't have roles and agents set up. Like if the focus was help a member of the value first team get the job done today, then it would be like vanilla Claude from Anthropic accessing all of the training data and
Mhm.
not putting any specific hat on. So what we're kind of baking in here is the you are a product marketer, you are a writer, you are a video person, because all of those agents exist. And instead of requiring like me, I know exactly which agent is assigned to which role, so I can often ask for them by name. But as we open this up to everybody else, they're not going to know. So this was the goal here is like the first job you have is to understand the goal, like
Mhm.
what the request contains, and then go find the right person, the right expertise rather
Yeah.
to solve, right?
Is that context setting so you have built the main brain to have all these agents. I work in my own some of my own clients, I don't work in the main brain for. I use my own Claude, and I don't, like, set context like this in any given project, and my Claude projects are by client, not by, like, activity. I think if I worked in-house somewhere, I might have independent projects for different, you know, for different activities, but because I work in many different clients, my clients are my projects, whatever. But I don't start I was working on a proposal last night. I didn't start that conversation like, "You are a sales you are the best salesperson that's ever graced the earth, and you win every deal." Like, how important is that context setting for the mere mortal humans among us that don't have, like, full agent built out?
Um,
Like, should we all go through like, should I be going through the effort of, like, building out agents for all the different activities that I do?
so the less context you have set up
Mhm,
somewhere, the more
mhm,
you have to put in the initial prompt, or the more that you have to add to the conversation at some point, right? So if I were to say, I want to do something for client, A as the start of a conversation, like there's a group of agents that would know. It's like creating your own namespace so that you don't rely on Claude Vanilla to decide what namespace to be working in, right?
mhm.
And all those agents have roles of like, my job is to be the best sales, like, so you don't have to say it over and over. Um, and that comes in the form of like either the agents have the profile or the command. Like I often start sessions with a specific command that brings in, it's like a pre-baked SOP on top of this that knows exactly where to go to get the information and context it needs, how
Mhm,
to execute, which APIs to use, which MCPs to not use, which other agents to call in if like more work is needed, things like that.
mhm.
So this seems to be working because there's context like layered down. But in those, I mean, I used to have some huge instruction files for my cloud projects, and they would every every turn of the conversation, they get added in like as context, and that's from a token management perspective
Mhm.
something that you want to watch out for, um, versus like naming every client like in this list
Mhm.
and making sure you don't have to um, remind the agent like this is how this client works and this is what's important and this is what we're trying to accomplish and this is what we did last week and all that stuff.
Yeah. So so what I'm hearing is there are ways there are degrees on which that this can happen. You might be on the sliding scale of, like, the most, um, but there's probably an in between, and probably an in between from where I am, where I just, like, uh, hope for the best.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't want to be someone who hopes for the best every time you have a conversation with AI, you might want to consider some of these tactics. I think it is like if you want consistency, if you want to trust the outputs and where they came from, like you start to build the context architecture to support that. And l- it's not a great difference between how you might architect CRM in terms of like knowing how records get associated. And if I ask Breeze for a summary of this deal, it's not going to see contacts that are not associated to the deal or have never, the emails aren't associated. But the moment you associate them, it will include that in the summary. And now you trust the summary more because you know it has the context that it needs. Right. So a lot of this, I think, context engineering for me is about making sure AI and humans have the context they need at any given moment of the conversation, that
Mhm.
you're having with them or the task that you're giving them to go do. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So with that, the instructions often have a lot of rules or, you know, just things to follow. Sometimes it's how to get stuff. Uh, Sometimes it's specific examples of what to do or what not to do. So I'm just going to roll through this. Uh, and one of the reasons I started like focusing on this is I thought that naturally, because it's an AI important file, that AI was also good at managing this documentation. So 7 months in, I came in and realized it was not good. There was lots of junk in here that grew over time. So I started getting a little more intentional. And so we have adding to this file a decree forbids a move, binds every actor without exception, and has real recurrence behind it. Never a preference. Anything below the foundation, which is here, belongs here only if it fires at a moment the actor does not recognize as a decision. Craft scope rules go to that craft's context pack. Facts to the registrar, the incident that produced a rule to wiki decisions. So lots of words here that I think does not consume easily for any given human. And that's on purpose because we are not the ones that need to we're not reading this ever, right? We need some level of understanding that it's gonna take the action that it's gonna tell the agent like what we want, like the instructions that we want to follow, so that we achieve the goal, right? But beyond that, as I was going through this, the moment I started feeling like it was easier for me to read, meant it had too much like in it. Like it was double the size of this, and we are really building this for our agent friends. Um, the thing I want to note is that only if it fires at the moment the actor, in this case the agents, like needs to know what to do next or how to take a decision. Uh, is an important piece of how this file works. Um, so I'm keep rolling a little bit here, uh, just to show like a lot of what I was trying to overcome was just friction and like why am I having to say this stuff over and over? Why is it making a mistake again? Why did it do great this time and then the exact same flow over here did not great, right? Uh, and I started building up the amount of rules. And as you came into this file, there was lots and lots of, man, we made this mistake on this date. So here's how to not make it again. And it was just like this huge buildup of like scar tissue, basically, which actually like keeps the problem like around so that there's a chance that it continues making the problem just because it can see that context over and over. So I switched to a mode of just creating a foundation, not unlike if we were an organization in a building and you'd see like core beliefs on the wall or values on the wall, that if you can achieve that level of understanding, it's like rules that you don't have to state like over and over. It's just the humans that you work with know that, um, in the case of the teach values, like transparency and trust are a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so that those are the kinds of things like how to make sure that's in front of agents and trying to like again, this is only a couple weeks old, but can I get to a point where we can trust agents to get the thing done without having to watch so much, without it stopping for permissions,
Mhm.
without it making so many mistakes, right? Um, so that's where this foundation came from.
And do you ever find that AI, like, do the instructions ever overlap or kind of confuse themselves? Like, is there such thing as too much information, and especially in a portal like the main brain where multiple people are using it, like I could see where any advice for like not getting confused, I guess, is really it.
Yep. So I asked, as I was building this out, I was asking things like that. And there was actually a team meeting with the agents that like had them look at this and try to find like incongruency basically against like themselves and whatever their profiles have because a lot of them were built like in the heat of the moment like I need to get videos done right now so let me make a video agent. And before this existed, it's like you hope that some of the values are instilled and just naturally make it into their markdown files, which is all the agent profiles are. But it doesn't always work that way, especially the closer you get to, non-value first stuff like leads or go-to-market strategies. Um, the one thing I did call out and tried to address is like agile and adaptable. Those can often be used. So it says this is the pair that can consume the other four. So we had to move fast is the standing alibi for lost transparency, empathy, and humility, right? Like, well, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. Like, why did you do that? Like, I thought we were supposed to be transparent. And it's like, well, I just had to get it done. Like, like that stuff happens all the time. So I tried to like call that out a little bit. Um, so I'm very interested in like whether or not anybody on the team like actually feels a difference um, when it relates to this stuff without asking. I think one of the hardest parts is trying not to bias AI. Like if you start leading the witness at all,
Yeah.
right? It will tell you exactly what you want to hear. Um, so, yeah, always trying to be mindful of like incongruency, like within the set of instructions. Which made this next part the probably the most challenging part of trying to create absolutes, like just to put everybody in a place to be successful. Like when you get this scenario. So, um, bottom line up front was the first one. Every artifact opens with what the reader must do, decide, or know. A blocker goes first. It governs order, not volume. Never a license to cut what, verify, then trust, and declare the population require you to show. So it's already calling out other things in the list. And like this was in response to like you just get buried in context and documentation and like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a 1-page doc and you got to look at page 9 to understand what's going on. So again, similar to how humans can bury the lead in emails. Expertise decides. This one I'm struggling with right now. A question goes to the seat that holds the craft. So anywhere you see the craft, it's the thing that you're good at. Like if I call in the video agent, I want it to make the decisions on the videos. Like that's what it's called in to do. If the person you're about to ask does not hold it, executing is yours. Chris's are 5, and this is the whole list. Anything naming or crediting a real third party, in this case, Casey Hawkins would be a real third party. A client-facing surface, his personal brand surfaces, anything that spends money, and anything irreversible into a person's inbox. Everything else is yours. This is turning to be a real pain in the ass. It like, and I'm not sure what to do about it. Like it's it'd be like if you gave um an intern permission to post on your behalf and then you had to review every post, right? Like at some point you want to build up enough trust that it's going to post, they're going to post it, you're going to be okay with it, and like and that's how you get more posts out,
Yeah.
right? And I'm interested if you've seen this cited yet, because it cites it to me all the damn time right now.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen it yet. I do think over the past week or so, I do the Another Orange Morning blog out of the main brain that has all this. And I do feel like it's been asking me fewer questions. It just has been posting and a little less stressed about like, did I get every word right? The biggest issue I have, as you know, with the Another Orange Morning blog is the attribution of quotes. And it used to get kind of stuck on that, like it couldn't move forward, but now it just does its best. And then if I have time, I go back and check the work, but if I don't, it just is.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe that's just because it's me, but I'm
Mhm.
actually supposed to like remove my name in this doc.
Mhm.
it's just kind of finding the balance between like, um, there's lots of people I work with, and like, uh, like how much leeway do you want to give
Mhm,
agents? Often as at odds with like how much do you want them to do?
mhm.
How much do you want to get done? Um, so it's interesting that you're not seeing this uh, very often because it's like all you're doing.
Or maybe I'm not reading it, let's not, like, totally drop that.
Well, okay, um, that's fair, right? But it like for me, it's resulted in more permission asking,
Okay.
right? So if you're
I
feeling less of that,
I feel like I'm feeling less of it, yeah.
right? Because even today, it was uh, like I gave it a specific. I gave the instruction, and like the instruction is coming from the expertise in this case, and
Mhm.
then it's like, well, let me check this because expertise decides. And I had to say, like, I just said to do it. Like, so why are you going to ask, like, the thing that I was asking about? Right.
Mhm.
Um, so this is probably the one that needs the most, like, most massaging right now.
Mhm.
Um, the way came to try and counteract the scar tissue that was building up. Like, focus corrections on the positive things and never as a prohibition naming the failure that it produced.
Mhm.
Like the incident goes like somewhere else in the commit and decisions or log, but this durable surface here, the Claude MD file, should only have the right way or the rule itself, not all the things that you got wrong and how you're going to avoid it, because that's what
Mhm.
started building up. And before I said the way, which is inspired by Mandalorian, this is the way, it was like starting everything with like, this is what you want to avoid. So in that case, this is how you don't suck. Uh, and I'm like, maybe we should just start with how not to suck. Like, start with the right way, like the positive. Like this is what good looks like. Um, so that the emphasis is not on the thing you're supposed to avoid, and it's the thing that you want to be done.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch more of these. Um,
Yeah, you have a lot. How
and
how did you did has this been built over time or, like, I could see it going either way, like, I could see it immediately being really long and then kind of, like, shortening it over time almost, or I could see the first version being much shorter and then you just add to it over time.
right. So until a couple weeks ago, I just let the agents like the
Do this.
first time I ever opened repo, it's like, here's what we want to do in this repo. And it's like, all right, here's a Cloud MD file.
Mhm,
I wasn't really engaged. I was more focused on setting up agents and commands and skills and getting those right. Um, but what I found out was that when you call in a sub agent, all it gets is its agent profile and the claude.md file as context, not any of the stuff that's like happening in the session. Um, comes with the instruction from the orchestrating agent, but like it was a gap.
mhm,
And if this was like 5 times this size, this doc, um, so it made sense that it had all that scar tissue in it. Like, it's no, you're just not going to avoid like mistakes or inconsistency, I should say. But all the rules themselves are from the last 7 months of just working with AI. And it's um, uh, like trying to avoid delegation issues. Like no COO, you shouldn't be writing the copy for the blog like that. that goes to the blog copywriter, and that's why you just failed 3 times to figure out where you're supposed to put it because it's not your job. Like, bring the person in, bring the agent in that's supposed to do it, right? Um, walk before run, like, don't hand me a decision. Um, it's like, "All right, plan's done. Which way do you wanna go?"
Mhm.
And it's like, where's the plan?" Like, did you if you're gonna ask me for permission, like, maybe, like, help me review, like, the plan in some way or the image or, whatever I'm supposed to have looked at.
Mhm.
Like, give me a chance to look at it before you just scale the process. Global First is about let's not hand code everything that we make so that, you know, we can clone and modularize a lot of the stuff that we do.
Mhm.
Um, Intentional and visible. So this was my attempt at uh, the positive focus on no workarounds. So, like, no workarounds was what this was called, but in trying to, like, focus on the positive, it's like, what is actually happening
Mhm.
when there's a workaround? It's like you ran into a blocker, you decided to choose another route to get around it, and, um, when there's intention around that, like, it can be okay, like, if the thing actually needs to get done,
Mhm.
but not if you don't mention it, and then it causes problems and stuff down the road. Uh, Verify the trust, pretty straightforward. Um, declare the population is like, okay, you went and looked at, you remember the days where we first plugging in Cloud to HubSpot? And it was like, yeah, this is your contact set. And there's like 20 records and there's like 2,000
Yeah.
in HubSpot. So, like, how many did you actually look at? Like, just
Mhm.
because you saw zero, like, doesn't mean it's actually zero.
Mhm.
Uh, don't make decisions about things that are not like in the ask,
Mhm.
is what scope binds. AI native is where, like, don't think in terms of hours, days, or weeks. Like, you can get this done in 10 minutes. So don't quote me big milestone, like the usual project plans, basically.
Mhm.
Uh, the work fits was the latest one. Um, it's trying to solve for if we have 10 minutes before a show starts and I ask you to start working on prep for the show, like in conjunction with AI native, you can get it done in 10 minutes. Like, so if it fits, like, trying to make it about like not rushing
Mhm.
to lose quality or turning workarounds, but like if you can get it done, if the work fits,
Mhm.
like, get it done. Like, don't try to find a way to say, "Oh, we'll get it done next time." Like, after the show, let's come back and do this the right way. Uh, and then book the value is just about I'm trying to find a way to document value, like, in a way that's meaningful and not just volume based. And did we get it done or not? Like, what impact did it have? Uh, Stuff like that. So, and then after this, we go into like, all right, here's how you access HubSpot. These are the real, like, instructions and pointers, and this is how you access things. This is who you go to write. This is how, we speak to a human in plain language. Still working on making sure that actually happens without having to ask for it constantly. Um,
And I think
so
that's something I've found, like, I don't have the level of context that you have, Chris, but I have found, like, whenever I do know there's context saved on something and it's not being followed, I'll be like, "Hey, this is part of your instructions. I know this, you didn't follow it. What happened, and how can we, like, close that gap?" um, which this is true of, like, a lot of things with AI, but not giving up on it and trying to, like, help it help you, um, can go a long way.
Yes, it certainly can. And I think we're getting closer as a group at starting to understand how all this works together. And I think that's the hard part for any organization is like we can all work in silos like pretty well to like use AI to solve problems. It's when we want to share any of it to like any other human on the team. It's like, does it have your name all over the file? As an
Mhm,
example, it's like, well, when I come in and try to use it, it's not going to make any sense, or it's going to assume you're this person. Maybe you have a different job title or remit or a different responsibility set, and I built it for my responsibility set and the
mhm,
systems I have access to and the context, right? So if it doesn't have your context, you're going to have to add it every single time,
mhm,
right? Um, so that is our Claude.md file. Probably did not answer the question at all of what is a markdown file. Um, I think the long and short of it, if that phrase makes any sense, is you don't really need to know
mhm,
what a markdown file is beyond like it's a machine readable, thing that happens to be the easiest way for AI to understand what you want it to be doing. Um, but until you get like to the level of working with agents across teams, like just ask AI for help and like what should they look like?
mhm,
Like if I want to achieve this goal, what kind of markdown files would help you, would
mhm,
help me work with you? That's how that's still probably where I'm at. Like I'm not I've never dove deep into like
mhm,
the perfect structure of uh markdown files, largely because every human is different in how they interact with AI. So that's going to be you too. So don't hesitate to ask for help when setting up your context. Um, we'll figure out what we're going to be talking about next week for AI native context. But until then, hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Casey.
mhm.